In this video, we're going to take you on a little adventure to a beautiful secret spot I grew up living just down the road from. Not many people in our area know about this spot, and in this video we take the kids there, and during this little adventure together I get to experience how I'm actually going with my emotional clearing, because this is actually the scene of a major tragedy that happened in my life. And in this video I'm going to share with you how unexpectedly I got to see how I was going with that progress, while at the same time having an amazing day out with Roxanne and the boys. So I think you'll like this one. Hi guys, we're at a waterhole today that I used to go to as a kid. We lived out here at this place called Yandina, and there were a couple of natural rock pools and waterfalls that were particularly exciting after a lot of rain, and we used to slide down the rocks and swim in the ponds and do the whole get back to nature thing from the time I was about 5 through till about 12 years of age. And it's so interesting now to come back here sort of 35 years later and share this whole experience with Xavier and Harley, and just watch them crawl all over the rocks and slide down the same little slides I used to, and there were the same little ponds and my favourite little sitting spots and all that sort of stuff, all stored in my mind, all coming back to me. And just the energy of the crisp cold water to wake you up and make you feel fresh and alive is just amazing. So we're just enjoying this on a quiet Sunday afternoon. There's no one else here, we've got it to ourselves, and we're just appreciating a bit of Mother Nature.
Are you going to send it down the waterfall again?
Only if Dad comes.
Only if Daddy comes. So what about you, Harley? Are you going to go belly first?
No!
So guys, from the waterfall footage and sliding down the rocks and having a swim in the big pond at the bottom, we decided to get back in the car and go for a drive through the community. So my father was a chartered accountant in Sydney, in the city, and he decided to do a personal development seminar and do a tree change early. So in his 20s, he decided to gather up Mum and myself. I was only about 2 at the time, and they moved to Queensland, and they moved to a hippie community. It was called Starlight community. It was in this place called Yandina. And look, they didn't have a lot of money, so they could just get what they could afford, but what they did want to do is have some land, and they had this dream of fruit and vegetables. It came at a price because there was no electricity and there was no flowing water, so no flush toilets and etc. They were running off candlelight, gas light, batteries, that sort of thing. It was simple in the early days. And it was at that time that while I was young, it was flooding and raining, and I took my little sister down to the creek, and we were playing around down in the creek. Anyway, she fell off the little bridge into the creek and she drowned. And it was like one of the major tragedies that's happened for the family. And I think for myself, one of the biggest things that I've had to work through as a person. And listen, I go into the full story in another video. If you have a look at my video from Costa Rica on emotional healing and what happened for me after Ayahuasca, I go quite in detail into all the lessons around that. But after we go swimming at the rock pools and sliding down the little beautiful slides the other day, Roxanne said she'd take the kids down to this bridge to show her what happened. So as we're driving down the road on the way there and going past some of the big stumps left from the early loggers, and we go to the local community hall of this little Starlight community. It was the hall with no walls, where they used to do the bunches of get-togethers and all the people would sort of hang out. We got to this little bridge, which, it seems so small now, but back at the time it was like a place to go to. And on the way, the kids are just asking over and over, so is this where your sister drowned, Dad? Oh, so you took your sister down the creek, did you, Dad? She drowned, did she? Oh, so your sister died, Dad? Like, it's so brutal. Over and over, these little kids asking the question. And we sort of get there, and we stopped and we had a look, and Xavier's like, the water's not even deep. Why didn't you just go in and get her? And I was like, no, it was in flood, and I was a bit younger than you. I couldn't swim properly, so I wasn't able to do anything. And they're like, oh yeah. But Roxanne and I are looking at one another and just you know, being aware of what's coming up in me. And it was really interesting to see how far I'd come. You know, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have even driven down that road, let alone stand on the bridge, sitting there looking at it while I've got two little voices going, is this where this happened and that happened, and all of that sort of hard questions. But I was able to handle that no problem and feel myself sort of move through that and the complexities that I've worked through. And it was a good indication of where I'd got to as a person, because, you know, we've done a lot of work, we've done a lot of healing, I've cried a lot of tears over all of that stuff and worked through it. And it's not so much about rising above it anymore, but learning the lessons from it, learning that I probably signed up for all of that before I even came into this life. And all of those lessons have made me who I am today as a person. And I'm still learning the lessons and still growing and progressing. And I think that while you look at this clip and you see us all in this amazing, you know, Australian bushland, and the water's so warm and inviting and invigorating, and we're looking at the rainforest, just to give you guys some background of what's going on behind the scenes in this video clip of me having to deal with these questions from the kids, and also just realizing, guys, that all of us have things we've got to work through, whatever they may be, emotional blocks, emotional challenges, stuff that has happened to us in our life. And I wanted to just jump on and give you guys some background to say, guys, you can heal, you can learn to see the lessons, you can make the rest of your life the best of your life, be the best version of yourself through emotional clearing and doing the work, and it does have an impact. So drop me a note if you've liked me sharing this little bit of extra depth to this video rather than just a normal one of us having fun. And also let me know what are some of the things you're going to be doing to help heal yourself and to work through as you go forward on your journey. And I really hope you've enjoyed the clip.